Cover Story. Today we have with us a very special guest. We have with us Sanjay Singh. He's the co-director at the LOKNITI-CSDS, a political analyst, psephologist, and of course, in topic, something that is being talked about these days is the LOKNITI-CSDS survey, which has taken a look at our political standing. Where do we stand now? Where do Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi stand? What are the burning issues of the day? All this is really creating a buzzword within the political corridors and in the media. So I'm welcome for this conversation, Sanjay ji. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So very interesting. I just want to begin with the one very important point that you raised is the popularity of Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi. We are seeing, according to your survey, that Prime Minister Modi's popularity is about 43%, while Rahul Gandhi's is 27%. The gap is there, but Rahul, if you look at the years, I think you took 2014 as 1 year where it was Modi's popularity was 35. It went up to 44 in 2019 and is now 43 in 23. Rahul Gandhi's was 14%, 24% in 2019 and it is now 27%. So Rahul Gandhi's popularity is increasing while Prime Minister Modi's is stagnant, though the gap is still very huge. But what does it say? I mean, what is the information that we get from this?
Priya, if you compare 2019 and 2023, and even if you compare it with 2009, what is 2014? What is the trend? The trend is 2014. That was the time when Narendra Modi just became the Prime Minister of the country, and Rahul Gandhi was not kind of a stated leader of the Congress party. So popularity of both Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi was lower compared to what we see at the moment. Look at the graph which has gone up in favor of Prime Minister Modi. In 2019, it went up to 44%. And the recent survey indicates that his popularity is more or less where it was in 2019. There is a 1% decline, but that should be taken as kind of within the margin of error. We can't really say that Prime Minister Modi's popularity has gone down. So what does the data indicate? But on the other hand, let me also state Rahul Gandhi's figures. If you compare it with 2019, it was 24%. In the present survey, in the current survey, we estimate that it is roughly about 27%. What does this indicate? One, popularity of Prime Minister Narendra Modi remains intact, even if BJP has lost 2 elections in a row, Himachal and Karnataka, because there was a lot of talk. People started thinking that maybe Prime Minister Modi's popularity has gone down. But this indicates that these 2 defeats have not affected Prime Minister Modi's stature. His popularity as the leader remains intact. But there is some increase in Rahul Gandhi's popularity, which is marginal. 3%, again, I can say within the margin of error, but at least there is a clear signal that Rahul Gandhi is slightly more popular now compared to what he was 6 months ago.
And a lot of this is to do with the Bharat Jodo Yatra, you would say, the change in Rahul Gandhi's ratings?
It is very difficult to, do a direct correlation that what may have resulted in Rahul Gandhi's increase in popularity. But one can safely believe, and that also comes from the data, because in the survey, we did ask a question about the knowledge people have about Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra. A very large number of people, roughly 60% people believe means they said they have actually heard or read about Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra. And among those who had heard about this yatra, a very large number of people said this has a positive impact on Congress electoral prospect. So we can draw some conclusion, and Bharat Jodo Yatra is one of the several factors which has contributed to Rahul Gandhi's increasing popularity.
What about Prime Minister's popularity? You said Karnataka doesn't seem to have dented it very much. What do you explain for the fact that A, it has not grown, or you don't expect it to grow, because there is, of course, a nearly 10-year anti-incumbency also around it?
No, I don't say that popularity of Prime Minister Modi has not gone up because there is a 10 years anti-incumbency. There are different ways of asking this question, and for viewers to clarify the viewer, if you come across other surveys, some surveys put Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popularity at, say, about 80%, 85%, 90%. We don't ask the question others ask. This is an open-ended question. We don't offer any name. So the question is asked, whom would you like to see as your Prime Minister after the next election? And 43% people have actually taken the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which is a very high rating. that 44% popularity or 43% popularity is a low popularity. It is a very high popularity. There may be some anti-incumbency, but I think that some anti-incumbency might make BJP government a little unpopular. But up till now, we don't get any sign of Prime Minister Modi becoming unpopular. He still remains very, very popular. And the data is an evidence to that.
Actually, Sanjay, before we go on, there's one point which to my fault, I should have clarified in the beginning. Can you tell us a bit about the survey? Why you did it, and the kind of people you've polled. Is it the demographic, the rural-urban equation?
Priya, people have been asking this question or wondering why this survey was conducted. I keep saying, even if we are not unwell, we are well. We feel that everything is okay with my health, but still we go for a routine health checkup. That has become a standard practice among the middle class families. So we go for a 6-monthly health checkup. Some people do it more regularly. This is also a political health checkup of the country. So there was a reason why we did this survey, but we wanted to understand what do people think about the leadership? How do people see the emerging political scenario in this country? That is why this survey was conducted. This is a national survey. People might think that 7,200 is a very small sample. They might think that it is a small sample, but look at the representativeness of this sample. The 7,200 people who have been interviewed in this survey represents it is a mirror image of the people of this country. It represents people in terms of rural urban in similar proportion as their share in country's population. If we talk about gender, men and women, about various caste communities, Dalits, Muslims, Adivasis, young, old. So it is a national representative sample drawn from 19 states. We covered 71 parliamentary constituencies. So it is a representative sample, I think good enough for people to believe that the findings are reliable. We can't say for sure that when we say it is 43%, it is precisely 40. There is always a margin of error, 1 or 2%, but that is within the range of the findings are in the range of margin of error of about 1 or 2%.
Okay. So basically, as you said, it is a political dipstick for the mood of the moment, for the now. Post Karnataka elections, post Bharat Jodo Yatra, there is, and what people are feeling 6 or 8 months before the next general elections. I come to the next point in your survey is what is the one thing that people like about Prime Minister Modi? In that, I think 20% have talked about his idea of development. 25% talk about his oratory skills. I think about his charm and his charisma and decisiveness, 30%. His hard work is another 13%. And his policies are only 11%. So can you explain this breakup for us? How do you see that?
Again, to clarify the viewer, we did not offer these options. What was asked was, so what do you like most in Prime Minister Modi? And the stress is on most. What do you like most about Prime Minister Modi? And you have already stated the numbers. Say a very large number of people, 25% said they like his oratory. 20% said they like his, the idea of development. So his work and the idea of development, you have to club these two together. And imagine almost 32% people saying that they like Prime Minister Modi because of his idea of development or the work which he has done. It's a very large number. It's not a small number because, as I said, it was not offered as a menu. People actually mentioned that they like Prime Minister Modi because of these issues, because of these factors. So I don't think viewers should get confused that Prime Minister Modi is liked only because of his oratory. A very large number of people like Prime Minister Modi because they see him as what we may call Vikash Purush, or someone who has led countries on the path of development.
What about his policies? Only 11%. Is that a statement on the way either his policies are implemented or the way they are just ideated?
See, when in a survey of this kind, when cross-section of people, we won't be able to figure out when people are saying his policies, unki neetiyon ke karan hum unhe pasand karte hain. It's very difficult to figure out or infer whether they are referring to critical, whether they are referring to the critical issues or a positive way. But I think when they say neetiyon ke karan, more in by way of looking at positive. उन्होंने जो काम किया, विकास का काम किया, उनकी जो नीतियां रही हैं. So that is how we have to interpret this data. There could be different interpretations as well, but that is how we, at least I interpret the data, that these nitiya policies are reflects a positive in terms of what Prime Minister Modi has been able to do. This is how common citizen look at Prime Minister Modi's abilities.
In fact, your next graphic actually gives us a bit of a clue over there, where you said, the respect for India world over, it has gone up 70%. As a FDI destination is 53%, and so on and so forth. So this is also a very key graphic, which tells us what part of Prime Minister Modi's Nitya policies that people like, right?
Absolutely. There is no doubt about that, Priya. It is not about India's foreign policy. People are not looking at the common citizen doesn't have any understanding about India's foreign policy, India's relationship with other country. But this image people have been able to build, or the perception people have been able to develop, is from what they see in the media. Recently, when Prime Minister Modi visited these three countries, look at the kind of reception Prime Minister Modi got in these three countries from the heads of these countries. And that has been the case with regard to whenever Prime Minister Modi visits, even the strong powers of the world, whether we take the name of, say, USA or UK or Germany, any country you name. So an image has got created in the minds of common Indians that India has emerged as a superpower. Earlier, when our earlier Prime Minister, when they used to visit, maybe there was no media of this kind, there was no social media, but they never got this image that our country is so powerful, our Prime Minister is so powerful. So that is these visuals, the way Prime Minister Modi gets reception in different countries, the way he meets heads of other countries. Based on that, common citizen of India has been able to develop an image that India has developed far more compared to the past. India's image in the world has, increased, and India's respect in the world, that has gone up. Prime Minister Modi is very powerful. He talks to leaders of other powerful country in an equal terms. That is which has got created among common Indians.
So this has gone up. It's a comparative figure, or is it what it stands for now? Because Prime Minister Manmohan ke time pe bhi bahut acha image tha hamara.
No, we don't have a comparative numbers about that. But if you look at these data standalone, almost all these questions, roughly in the range of, say, 55 to 60% people believe that India's image or India's stature, the world has gone up. So we can safely say that a very large number of Indians believe that India's image in the world has gone up. They are unable to, we didn't ask a question, how do they compare it from the past? Because that's not the question one should be asking in a survey, because people don't have memories of the past. So we can't put it in a comparative perspective, but standalone, clear indication that common Indians believe India's image in the world or India's stature in the world is very high.
Do you have any comparatives on Rahul also? Like what do they like about Rahul, or what do they don't like about Rahul? ऐसे भी कुछ survey है इसमें?
No, we don't have figures on the kind of questions which you are asking. But you have talked about various positives about which has come out from the survey. There are also some anxieties which people have.
Yes.
Even in this survey, which is about the economy, which is about unemployment, and we do have some comparative data on that, which got published in other media houses, and you get a clear sense. There is a huge concern among the Indians about price rise. More people now believe that prices have gone up. If you look at the question with regard to the current issue,
biggest issue of the year.
Yeah, biggest issue country is facing. Unemployment comes out to be a big issue. Not that in the previous surveys or earlier surveys, unemployment was not the issue. Even in our earlier surveys, or I would say, whenever you do a survey, unemployment is going to come as one big issue. But look at the proportion of people who say now that unemployment is the biggest issue compared to the proportion of people who said unemployment is the biggest issue 5 years ago or even 10 years ago.
It's 29% in 2023 and 8% in 2014. So that's a huge jump.
Yes. There are other concerns as well. If you talk about economic, personal condition, people are feeling the pinch of personal economic condition, that data is also put in a comparative perspective, and look at the number of people or proportion of people who believe that whatever was their earning, monthly or yearly earning, they were able to save money or they are facing hardship. You look at the comparative data, the proportion of people who earlier said they were able to save some money, it has gone down now. And people
Yes.
they have started.
It's gone down from 16% to 10% now, right?
10%. And people,
The household economics.
and people who believe that they started facing hardships, number of those people have gone up. So there are
Gone up big time.
needs even among the Indians. So there are a couple of stories coming out from this entire survey.
But those are the stories I want you to explain now. We've more or less gone through the numbers, but what are the takeaways from the survey is something I'm going to be talking to Sanjay ji about, but after a very quick break. So stay with us. Hello and welcome back to a conversation with Sanjay Kumar. He is the co-founder of CSDS LOKNITI, but he's also been talking about the survey which has been undertaken by him about the current popularity of Prime Minister Modi, Rahul Gandhi, where the BJP government stands. And before the break, we were talking about some of the worrying issues. I think, is it right to conclude that the economy is going to be the biggest bugbear of this government? They scored on other things like development and the image of the Prime Minister, but the economy still continues to pull this government down.
Economy is the concern among the citizens, but if you say economy is an issue which is pulling down this government, that's not correct. Because look at the 13 state assembly election where BJP defended its government during last 3-4 years. Out of the 13 states, BJP managed to win 11. They only lost 2 elections, Himachal and Karnataka. And we know in Himachal, BJP and Congress vote share was very, very close. And in many of these states, people express similar concerns about economy, about price rise, about unemployment, about several other issues. But still, BJP managed to retain power in 11 out of the 13 states where they defended the government. So it's not pulling down the government. I think the survey gives a clear indication that these are anxieties among the people. These anxieties have not translated into the voting preferences among the people. People are voting on other concerns, other issues rather than these, the issues of economy. So it's not pulling down the government. It's not pulling down Prime Minister Modi's popularity. If it was pulling down the government, BJP should have lost at least half of these states. That's not happening.
But it is an issue that the opposition, if they read your survey carefully, this is an issue they can raise, and because it is touching the pulse of the people.
Absolutely.
Lack of savings.
I think the message for the BJP is that this is an issue which is
become
among the people, and the concern has been there for the last 4 or 5 years. This is the time for the government to act on that. This is the alarm bell, maybe a very strong word, but I think this shows anxieties among the people, and I think it's time for the BJP government to try and address to this anxiety of the people, because this can snowball into a big issue, and it may go out of hand. That's not the situation at this moment, but economic hardships can turn people away from government. At the moment, that's not happening, but it can happen any day.
And I came across another very interesting figure. Rahul Gandhi हमेशा कहते हैं कि this is दो corporates की सरकार है. This is a सरकार only for the rich. BJP says सबका साथ सबका विकास. So you've actually done a survey where you're asking people, do they feel development is only for the rich? Is it only for the poor? Or is it for everybody? So that number has gone up. In 2019, it was only 25%. It is now 36% of the people feel this government is focusing on only the rich. And those people who feel there is no development at all, that number has gone up marginally. I think it's gone up. It was 16% in 2019, it's 18% now. How do you interpret this?
So what is the interpretation? First, do large number of people believe that there has been no development? No. Very large number of people believe that there has been development in this country. So there is no dispute about that. But what do people believe? People think that development has been lopsided. More richer people have benefited more from the development which has taken place during last, say, 5 years. And poorer people have not reaped the benefits of development as in similar proportion as the rich people have reaped. So clearly, the viewers should not get confused that people are saying that no development has taken place. It's only marginally gone up. We should take it again within the margin of error. So large number of people believe that under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, country has developed, but there is a lopsided development. More rich people have benefited more compared to the poor people.
This is again, if you're looking at issues that the opposition can, pick up, again, this is a narrative that can be used to dent the BJP's claim on development. Because as we spoke earlier, development is something this government is scoring pretty highly on. Taking forward, in terms of the opposition, how do you see this happening? I was at a function with Hardeep Puri, the Minister for Urban Affairs, and I quoted your survey to him saying that Prime Minister Modi is stagnant while Rahul Gandhi is catching up. So he turned around and said, you're very optimistic if you think it's going to catch up in the next 1 year. And I think you seem to agree with that.
No, catching up may be a wrong phrase to use for Rahul Gandhi's popularity. His popularity has gone up. But still, look at gap between Prime Minister Modi's popularity and Rahul Gandhi's popularity. So catching up word may be used if constant increase in Rahul Gandhi's popularity and Prime Minister Modi's popularity either remaining stagnant or coming down. We are looking at Rahul Gandhi's popularity during last 5 years. If you compare it with 2014, then there is a big jump, but that's the case even for Prime Minister Modi. But if we see the same trend continuing for the next 6-8 months, then we can say, yes, Rahul Gandhi is catching up. But still, the question would remain whether he can, run so fast to catch up with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popularity. That would still remain a big question mark.
So a bit of bad news, I think, for the Congress, though Rahul Gandhi, they're taking a lot of heart in the fact that, his post-Bharat Jodo Yatra, there seems to be another so-called rebirth and relaunch of Rahul. But he still has miles to go before he can actually, as they say, catch up with Prime Minister Modi. So what happens then to the opposition? Just final, overall takeaways from the survey, the road ahead to 2024.
I think while we did not do the survey in order to send out message to BJP or to Congress or to regional party.
For the media, you did.
But if you read the data carefully, I think there is a message for all the political parties in a positive sense. The message for BJP is that Prime Minister Modi still remains popular. He remains the vote puller for the BJP. India's image in the world has gone up. People, praise that. So all this is positive about BJP, but there is a caution. The message for BJP is that don't neglect the economic issues. These are the real issues about which people are concerned. Try and address to the best of your abilities the economic issues. So that's the message for BJP as such. For the Congress, I think the message is Rahul Gandhi needs to do more hard work. We used to talk about 2024 as the done deal 6 months ago. At least the survey indicates, and also if you relate to the two victories of the Congress, Himachal and Karnataka, so that word done deal may not be used more now as frequently as it was used earlier. So we can say the contest is still slightly open. 2024 contest is open. Congress can work hard. Congress now has government in few states, but Congress needs to do a lot of hard work. And they need to focus on the real issues of the people, real concerns of the people, which is about economic hardship. For the opposition, I think the message is a divided opposition, and that's the message for the Congress as well. Because look at the difference in vote percentages. Congress, at the moment, based on our survey, is standing at 29%. BJP is at 39%. It's a 10% gap. And a 10% gap can give a huge victory to BJP. That is the gap even with regard to popularity of Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi. So the message of opposition parties and the Congress is that you need to come together. You need to have a seat sharing arrangement. No single party alone can defeat BJP or even pose a strong challenge to BJP in 2024. So message for the regional parties that try and come together, try to have seat adjustment if you all want to put a strong contest to BJP in 2024. I think these are clear messages for BJP, for Congress, and also for the regional parties.
Well, thank you, Sanjay ji, for this conversation and for the survey, which has proved very helpful to us to take just milestones for the look ahead, markers, sorry, for the road ahead. But one last point before I let you go, do you ever think of asking that question, that is Modi himself an issue? Because everything is so centered around him. और खुद ही उन्होंने कहा था at one interview, I think in the 2019 election, कि मोदी ही issue है. So I think एक segment उसका भी होना चाहिए. How much of an issue is the Prime Minister himself? But okay.
कभी और कुछ support मिलेगा, then we will certainly ask some questions more related to Prime Minister Modi.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much for this conversation, and thank you all for watching Cover Story.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.